Jacob, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Drew. But wouldn't more already disappear out of the holodeck?
I think the only thing holographic is your brain. No, you fool, we're going to review an animated movie on this here podcast.
Brilliant! No, wait. Why would anybody want to listen to two geeks like us?
Because, you fool, these people are so very easily entertained.
Okay, Drew. Narf!
Welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who just doesn't know when to quit, Jacob.
You're darn right I don't. Why, thank you. Like, introduce our co-host. A man who, well, let's be frank, it's a hustle. Drew. Welcome, Drew. Yeah, but I'm not going to call you a sweetheart.
Oh, come on, Jacob.
Cut, we're out of here. Gone.
I will go
Bye,
ahead.
guys.
I will mark that one. Wait, why didn't it work? My mark's not working. What the crap? There we go. Okay.
Oh, just leave that. That's
going to be a fun edit.
Yeah.
All right. How are you doing today, Jacob?
I don't know right now. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Work has been good. Trying to work on a few projects. I might be doing a Facebook Live drawing session towards the end of this week. And I'm still trying to figure out an idea of what I want to draw.
Okay.
And I'm thinking possibly Baby Yoda or the child from The Mandalorian.
Well, I know you just recently watched that.
Yeah,
so
I did.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, other than that, nothing else, really. Really, Chase?
I'm waiting on you, by the way.
No, I was responding to something in the chat.
I know you were responding to something in the chat, but I am waiting on my cue, good sir.
Okay, how's your week been, Drew?
My week has been a little full.
Okay,
but nothing I'm not going to be able to work past, and I'm not sure how much I can talk about it on. Work has been a little stressful with personnel moving, I would say.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that's pretty much. I'm doing good.
Okay,
so watching.
Well, I've watched a few things here and there. I got around to apparently Warner Brothers on YouTube. They put a few of their animated movies out in what they call Beyond the Vault or Beyond the whatever that segment is called. I'm not sure.
The carrot?
No, it's not the
bunny.
Yeah, true, but it's not Bugs
Beyond
Bunny.
The Shield.
Beyond the Shield.
Water tower.
Or Beyond
the
water
tower.
There we go. Beyond the water tower. But whatever that segment's called, be like apparently they've released a few of their animated movies, and so I found on YouTube the full length version of Superman Brainiac Attacks. I didn't like it. It was boring and bland.
For that.
That happens. Be like it's not every animated movie is going to be spectacular. As some of the movies we've reviewed were not the best in the world.
Oh, I'm still looking for the one that you absolutely hate that I love.
It shall come.
I know it will. I've got a couple of ideas.
Okay.
But we'll get there.
Other than that, me and you actually went and watched something over at a friend's house who's actually in the chat now. Now, can you relate what those movie titles were? Because I'm
TV. One of them was called Brand New Animal.
Yes.
Which is somewhat related to what we're doing because it
did
deal with anthropomorphic animals.
Yes, it does.
The king, he showed me the King's Avatar before you got there.
Oh,
which was pretty interesting.
Yeah, okay.
And then we watched a name in Japanese that's
okay.
And the title.
Yeah.
Of course, I typed in Kamehime, and it came up with Mehameha.
Dragon Ball Z. Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
You know, I really should have wrote, but it honestly did not occur to time.
Right. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank because I remember the first one.
Well, I mean, I'm not good with Japanese titles.
Yeah. All right. Hey Chase, what was the second movie, the second TV show anime we watched? Yeah, exactly. What is that movie? What was that show called? Any second now.
Dusk May.
Yeah, that's right.
That one was good.
That was good.
But I can't honestly remember what that more slice of life romantics. My apologies there. But moving on to what I watched.
Yes.
I have been on a Tokyo
class
for the last I had gotten in recently a copy of the Criterion Collection Godzilla, the Showa era film. It's from like the 50s to the Godzilla films.
Right.
And I had never seen the second one, which Godzilla Raids Again.
Oh, okay.
Which is the one where he fights. That was actually kind of fun.
Okay.
It is in black and white because it's that old. Mm-hmm. And I did watch the subtitle. All it's on the Blu-ray. So the dub, which is called Gigantus the Fire Monster, I have not seen yet.
Okay.
But I enjoyed that. And then this afternoon, earlier today, it came to my attention. Let me back up one. About a month ago.
Okay.
I had heard that Shout Factory had started getting licenses release Kamen Rider over here.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And I thought the only way you could watch it was because that's where I had seen on their Toku Shoutsu channel.
Yeah.
Well, listening to another podcast, he pointed out that it was also on Verve. And I thought, a minute, I have Verve. That's VRV, by the way.
Yeah.
So I went and when I got home from work, I went in and they had the 2 Kamen Rider seasons that they have. And so I started off from 1971, where he fights Station Shocker. I saw 2 episodes, and it's very much a monster type show, like Power Rangers to be.
Okay.
Actually, I think it still is. But anyway. But the very first villain I watched that he fought was Spider-Man.
Okay.
The second one, Batman. Now, literally, it is not the characters Marvel.
Okay.
Obviously. They couldn't legally get away with that.
No, of course not.
It is literally a Spider-Man and a Bat-Space-Man. Although the Batman was very much falling into the vampire, and he was turning people into vampires too.
Oh, okay.
So that sort of thing. It is good. It is very... Chase just got with us in the chat and reminded us that the third one we watched was Kami-sama Kiss.
Kami-sama Kiss. Okay.
It was fun. So yeah, that is watching.
All right.
So what do we got in the news?
All right. So what we got in the news? So we had the movie that came out a couple of months ago called Ride Your Wave, and apparently it is going to be released through Shout Factory and G Kids on April 4th. So you can either download digitally, on demand, Blu-ray, plus DVD combo pack, or your standard DVD.
I do remember seeing that being advertised of Weathering with You.
Yes.
I know nothing about it though.
Okay. So to give you a little synopsis. Okay, I'm going to butcher this name. Hinako. Hinako is a surf-loving college student who has been moved to a small seaside when a fire breaks out in her apartment building and is rescued by Minato, a handsome firefighter, and the two shortly fall in love. Just as they are becoming inseparable, Minato loses in a seaside Hinako is so devastated that she can no longer look at the sea. But one day, she sings a song that reminds her of their time together. And Minako appears in the water. From then on, she can summon him in any watery surface. But can the two really remain together forever? That's your synopsis.
I have a feeling she's going to have to give him up by the end of the movie.
Sounds like it.
But anyway.
Well, that'll be coming out shortly. And if you are interested in that movie, you can go to shopfactory.com. All right. And our second bit of news relating to a certain movie we might be reviewing on Friday.
Perhaps.
More
than likely.
Break out your popcorn, your milk duds, or in this case, milk bones. Grab a comfy seat.
Wait. They're saying all this and not using the very obvious thing they could be saying.
What would that be?
Get out your Scooby snacks?
Yeah, maybe. Roll boy.
I'm just saying whoever wrote this copy does not know their Scooby-Doo.
Apparently not. All right. So find a comfy chair and get ready to contact with friends and family because Scooby-Doo and the whole mystery are bringing the party to your house on Friday, May 15th. Everyone is invited on the Twitter hashtag Scoob Movie Night premiere event hosted by the big dog himself to celebrate the release of the new, fully animated, full-length action-adventure feature Scoob on Premiere Video on demand on Premiere Digital ownership. It will start at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. This Twitter special event pre-shows for all audiences fun Scoob moments with stars from the film.
Okay.
So
I have a slight bit of question.
What's this?
Why is Scrappy Doo hosting this?
I don't know.
You were supposed to get mad at me for that.
Apparently, I was like, "What in the world?"
Because
Scrappy?
I know I hate Scrappy Doo as
yes!
much as you do.
I was like, how dare you?
I was expecting to get punched.
Punch.
There we go.
You threw me for a second. And I was like, "Wait, you threw me a guard?" And I was like, "What the heck?" Scrappy.
Nobody likes Scrappy.
No one likes Scrappy. No, correction. I have met people who like Scrappy Doo.
I feel sorry for those people.
They're like, "Yeah, Scrappy's cool." It's like, no, he's not. He's a pain in the neck. Or pain in the tail.
Those people have no taste.
Okay.
That is the one thing that I like about the first live-action Scooby-Doo movie is that Scrappy Doo's the villain.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. For a film that came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a really good film.
Second one, I don't know.
Yeah. Either way. So that's the news.
All right. So let's get into our spoiler-free section of our review for Zootopia. So,
it's an animal of a good time.
Okay. Not the response I was expecting.
No. But I enjoyed it. Ow.
Don't hurt yourself.
I really enjoyed this movie. I've enjoyed it ever since it's all in theaters. It has a very good message. Mm-hmm. That be like, even at this moment in time with how things are going on politically and how things are with the event that just recently transpired, and I can't remember what state, but this movie is a very good template for the idea how we should kind of like treat each other as a race. Ideally, yes. The fact that we are sinful, flawed, broken people, that we are going to look at race and we're going to look at all this stuff, but the idea that we are all created in the image of God. So I like that. So I enjoy this film. What about you?
I did see this.
Okay.
That was... I have not seen it then.
Okay.
Until, of course, I'll admit, when I had a slight negative reaction, what felt like being hit over the head with the very anti-racist message. Now, before I go any farther and people get mad at me, I do believe we should try and treat each other as equal. I just hate having messages shoved down my throat. That's all it comes down to.
I understood.
So I was a little, and plus when this movie came out, coming back from I can't remember where the town was, but brutality stuffing. And the whole town went by because you had an African American city being policed.
Yeah, it was South Carolina.
Caucasians, yeah.
Yeah, South Carolina.
And so that was in my head, whether I wanted it to or not.
Yeah.
When I first saw this movie.
Yeah.
This viewing, I'm of course going into it with all the fears of the past 2 months sitting in my head, whether I have, or at least the knowledge of the events of the last 2 months.
Right.
And I'm watching it, and I realized that while I'm not seeing what I saw 4 or 5 years ago when this movie originally came out, I'm now seeing stuff that seems to be talking about how we should treat each other when it comes to sickness and stuff. I don't know why.
Okay, I got you.
It's a quarantine thing that
could
caught
be
my eye. Because this thing that is attacks called a virus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely see that now.
So, as much as I kind of had a negative reaction that first time to having that message, and realizing this time that message wasn't actually there, but then seeing this other one, thinking that wasn't there the first time I watched it because stuff has changed. My perception of things has altered slightly between the first viewing and this viewing. I want to applaud this movie in such a way for being able to handle multiple types of issues without really forcing them. Anyways, I know I said that first one felt the racial stuff felt forced the first time.
Yeah.
I think it's just because I had gotten tired of it faster than that.
Right.
That particular thing, but it just seemed like it was. I just appreciate a movie that is able to able to tackle these issues.
Yeah.
In such a way where I'm noticing, and I think as I'm an adult, so they say, but I know kids are going to watch this and they're not going to catch any of that. I just appreciate how well it's actually communicating what it's communicating without it really feeling like it's being shoved down your throat, unless you read too much into it, and then that's purely your fault, which I will claim on my first viewing. But yeah, and there are lots of comedic moments in this movie I didn't catch the first. Like I said, I kind of had a negative thought process, I think, going. But yeah, I appreciate what this movie's able to do, and I appreciate the comedy that's able to be done for adults and for kids alike. It's great. So yeah, that's my thoughts there.
Well, good deal.
So that brings us to the end of our spoiler-free section of our review. If you don't want to be spoiled, well, unfortunately, now's the time when you might want to hop off and come back to us after you go watch the movie. It is currently playing on Disney+. So if you've got that service, head over there.
Or just hop like a rabbit and get over there.
Yeah, just hop on over there. Or I'm sure you can still get this, you can still rent this on Amazon, and I know you can, I think you can still find this movie in like Walmarts and such if you want to brave the coronavirus.
In the wild?
Yes, in the wild, actually. In the big city.
Yeah.
Or in your little borough. So, yeah, that's where you can go get it. So, join us on the other side.
All right.
The following is a spoiler-filled review for the movie Zootopia. Listener discretion is advised. Zootopia was written and directed by Byron Howard, Rich Moore, and Jared Bush. Byron Howard directed Tangled and Bolt.
Yep.
And Rich Moore directed Wreck-It Ralph.
Yep.
It was also written by Jim Reardon, Josie Trinidad, Phil Johnston, and Jennifer Lee. Music was by Michael Giacchino, who also did the music for The Incredibles, Ratatouille, and the Abrams-verse Star Trek movies.
Yes.
The cast, we've got Jennifer Goodwin as Judy Hopps. She played Vivian Cash in Walk the Line. Jason Bateman as Nick Wilde. He was Michael Bluth in Arrested Development. Idris Elba plays Chief Bogo. He was Heimdall in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jenny Slate plays Bellwether. She was Gidget in The Secret Life of Pets.
Nay.
Nate Torrance played Clawhauser, and in the movie Get Smart, he played Lloyd. Literally, that was the only thing I could find.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bonnie Hunt played Bonnie Hopps, and she played Dolly in Toy Story 4. And that is actually the character's name. It's actually a fairly...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think she's also in Toy Story. But I didn't scroll down that far when I was doing my research. My apologies. Don Lake played Stu Hopps. In the upcoming Space Force television show, he is playing a character named Brad Gregory. And I have a feeling, from what I was seeing, that's a major character because it looked like he was in the episode.
Okay.
That was on there. Tommy Chong plays Yax, and yes, he is the Chong in Cheech and Chong.
Oh, okay.
J.K. Simmons plays Mayor Lionheart, and he is J. Jonah Jameson. Let's face it, that's what most of us know him from.
And profound actor.
Yes. And he's in lots of stuff, but the two main things I know him from is J. Jonah Jameson in both the MCU and in the original Spider-Man trilogy.
Yes.
Also, I believe he is Commissioner Gordon in Justice League.
He is.
So there's that. Octavia Spencer plays Mrs. Otterton. She played the character Dorothy Vaughn in Hidden Figures.
Okay.
Alan Tudyk plays Duke Weaselton. He was Duke Wesselton in Frozen. I just love the fact they got the same guy.
Oh yeah, it's Alec Tudyk. Be like he's now a Disney. He's a Disney staple. Also, he played K2SO in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. Yeah. Also, don't forget Firefly. Yeah, Firefly. Alan Tudyk was in Firefly. If you do not mention that, nerds will rage.
My apologies, all you brown coats. I was going to say something cute, but I can't think of anything. Shakira played Gazelle, and of course, Shakira is a pop star. She had no real other acting credits.
Yeah, she sings very well.
I mean, literally, the only acting credit I saw in here was for her music video based on this movie.
Okay.
I'm sure she had other ones in there, but for whatever reason, that's the only other one that was on IMDb.
Huh.
Raymond S. Percy played Flash and Officer Higgins. He played Gene and Zombie in Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay.
Della Saba played young Judy Hopps. And in Ralph Breaks the Internet, she played Swatty.
Okay.
Maurice LaMarche plays Mr. Big. He is, of course, the Brain in Pinky and the Brain.
Okay.
And Phil Johnston has a cameo. He was the writer earlier, if you remember.
Yeah, that's right.
He plays Gideon Gray.
That's right. He does a really good job in that.
Yeah. He was also the Surge Protector in Wreck-It Ralph and Ralph Breaks the Internet.
That makes sense.
So, what's our box office and more?
All right. So, on IMDb, it got a 8 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it had a 98% score.
Mm-hmm.
And its audience score was oddly at 92.
Okay.
That's just weird.
Why is that weird?
This was a phenomenal film. Be like,
and you're mad that it got an A?
No, I'll be like, it got an. I'd be like, I'm glad it got an A. It's just so the difference between what the critics gave it and the audience gave it was just kind of weird to me. But either way,
I'm not going to say you're wrong, but there's always a gulf between what the critics
think
yeah,
absolutely.
And what the audience thinks.
Well,
so.
Most of the time when we're doing these reviews and looking at them, be like, the gulf is pretty big.
Yeah.
There's not a big gulf difference between these two, but it's so odd because you would think it's like, boom, here's 100 and it's a 92. Weird. Just weird to me. All right. So production wise, obviously it was done by Walt Disney Animation Studios, which they've done everything Disney.
Well, this was like movie number what, 54?
Yeah, 54.
I think.
Yeah. They've done a lot of movies.
For whatever reason, that number does not sound right.
Well, as you go look it up, it was distributed by Walt Disney Studios. It was released on March 4th, 2016. All right, so we get into box office here. It had a budget.
By the way, while he's trying to figure out how Zootopia was actually movie 55 by Walt Disney Animation Studios.
Good deal.
54 was Big Hero 6.
That makes sense.
Or should we say Pig Hero 6?
Yes, in this movie, yes. All right. It had a estimated budget of $150 million. That's a pretty big... All right.
Yeah. So, it needed it. There's a lot in this movie.
Yeah. For how much hair there is in this movie?
Oh, yeah.
All the hair.
For those of you who don't know, hair is one of the hardest things for computers to animate.
Oh, yeah.
Next to fire, in which there was a lot of also, and general particles. Which is why light usually isn't that good either. But light's good in this movie. It's better in this movie than in some others.
Oh, yeah. Amazing in this movie. All right, so its opening weekend was $75 million. So its U.S. gross was $342 million.
Okay.
So its worldwide gross was $1,023 billion.
Yeah, I'd say it made its money back.
Yeah, it definitely made it out in spades. And why in the world are they not making a second?
Give them Wreck-It Ralph 2 and Frozen 2.
Yeah, sure.
It's been, admittedly, we've not heard anything. So.
Well, right, that's true. But it would be interesting to see where they would continue this story. So yeah, that's all I have in box office and all that. Who's a what's it?
All right. So getting into this movie's summary. In a world populated by anthropomorphic mammals, rabbit Judy Hopps from rural Bunnyborough fulfills her childhood dream of becoming a police officer in urban Zootopia. Despite Judy being the Academy valedictorian, Chief Bogo doubts her potential and delegates her to parking duty. On her first day, she is hustled by a con artist fox duo, Nick Wilde and Finnick. Judy abandons parking duty to arrest Duke Weaselton, a weasel who stole a bag of crocus bulbs known as Midnicampum holocithius. Sorry I said that wrong. As she is reprimanded by Bogo, an otter named Mrs. Otterton enters Bogo's office pleading for someone to find her husband Emmett, one of 14 predators who have gone missing. Bogo is forced to let a volunteering Judy take the case when Assistant Mayor Don Bellwether praises the assignment and informs Mayor Leodore Lionheart. He gives Judy 48 hours to find Emmett on the condition that she must resign if she fails. Deducing that Nick was the last to see Emmett, Judy blackmails him into assisting her by covertly recording his confession of tax evasion. They track Otterton to a limousine owned by crime boss Mr. Big, who reveals Otterton went savage, reverted to a feral state, and attacked his chauffeur, Manchus. At his home, Manchus mentions Otterton yelled about night howlers before the attack. Manchus himself then turns savage and chases the pair. Judy saves Nick by trapping Manchus and calling the ZPD for help, but Manchus disappears before they arrive. Bogo demands Judy's resignation, but Nick defends Judy, reminding Bogo that she has 10 more hours to solve the case. After leaving on a gondola lift, Nick tells his story about his childhood dream to join the Junior Ranger Scouts, in which he had been tormented by them on his first day due to being a fox. Judy and Nick then travel to City Hall to access the city's traffic cameras. They discover Manchus was captured by wolves, who Judy surmises are the night howlers. They locate the missing predators, who have all turned savage, imprisoned at Cliffside Asylum, where Lionheart is secretly quarantining them while attempting to determine the cause of their behavior. Judy records a video of Lionheart discussing the plot with her cell phone and reports him to the ZPD. Lionheart and the asylum staff are arrested for false imprisonment, and Bellwether becomes the new mayor. Judy, praised for solving the case, asks Nick to join the ZPD as her partner. At her following press conference, however, Judy suggests that the cause of the savage behavior is predator biology, as predators are the only ones going savage. In anger, Nick rejects Judy's offer and abandons her. Hateful speech and discrimination against predators runs rampant throughout Zootopia. Racked with guilt for the consequences of her words, Judy resigns from the ZPD and returns to Bunnyboro. Back home, Judy learns from her parents that Gideon Gray, a fox that bullied her as a child, but is now a pie salesman to her family's business. That the night howlers are actually the crocus bulbs Weaselton stole, and they contain a neurotoxin that has severe psychotropic effects on mammals. After returning to Zootopia and tearfully reconciling with Nick, the pair confront Weaselton, who is pressured by Mr. Big and reveals that the bulbs he stole were meant for a ram named Doug. They find Doug in a laboratory hidden in the city's subway, developing a drug made from the night howlers, which he has been shooting at predators with a dart gun. Judy and Nick obtain the serum as evidence, but before they can reach the ZPD, Bellwether confronts them in the Natural History Museum, revealing herself as the mastermind behind a prey supremacist conspiracy to frame predators as dangerous and savage. Bellwether retrieves the evidence after Nick refuses to abandon an injured Judy. She shoots Nick with a serum pellet to make him attack Judy and fakes a call to the ZPD. But the pellets she is using are revealed to have been replaced with blueberries by Nick. Judy then baits Bellwether into openly declaring her role in the attacks, as well as framing Lionheart, and records the confession just as Bogo and his deputies arrive at the scene. Bellwether is arrested for her treachery, while Lionheart publicly denies knowledge of her plot and defends his committal of the savage predators as a necessary precaution to maintaining public safety, quoting that he did the wrong thing for the right reason. The savage animals are cured, and Judy rejoins the ZPD. Nick graduates from the Zootopia Police Academy as the city's first fox police officer and becomes Judy's partner. And then the movie ends in a concert with Shakira getting to sing her song. So, Jacob, what's your first like?
All right. My first like, well, I want to say this first. To quote a song from a very famous rock band, there ain't nothing wrong with it. Let's just act like a bunch of animals.
Okay.
All right. So if anybody can get what band I'm talking about, kudos to you. By the way, it's not a very good song. I just like the line. Anyway, my first like would be the Unlikely Partners. of Nick and Judy.
Yes.
The fact that they are both, they'll be like, it's a fox and a bunny. Mm-hmm. And you have this whole prejudice, very, your first like instinct what something is. Mm-hmm. Because Judy has grown up with this mentality that foxes are bad. Foxes are going to eat you. And so she goes by her father's advice to bring the spray with her.
Yeah.
And so the fact that she, like, when she gets the case and knows, okay, Nick is the guy I've got to go to. And I love their rapport, this is the way they kind of mesh together. The mesh together with these two, not polar opposites, but it's two characters who are working together so well until you get to, this junction. This junction be like, you don't trust me because you think I'm savage. And one of the coolest things about this film, this is more of a nerdy Disney moment of where we find Nick is the exact same place we find in Aristocats. It's the exact same spot, just done in 3D. And I thought that was when I saw it on this review, I was like, oh my gosh, be like the backgrounds and everything. It's the exact same moment where our main characters meet each other. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. It'd be like, it's an anamorphic movie. This is an anamorphic movie, but it's in 3D.
Well, Aristocats is not really anthropomorphic. They are.
Yeah, they're just talking
cats who talk.
Yeah.
It's not like Robin Hood.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But it has the kind of the same flavor. But I enjoy the two characters' chemistry, mm-hmm. where they work together very well. Where Nick's a sly fox who just be like, it's called a hustle, sweetheart, and it's just so. And Judy is the fresh out of the force greenhorn, mm-hmm. who, and Nick exposes her to all these things in order to kind of like how Flynn Rider is trying to convince Rapunzel to be like, give up on your quest. Oh, I'm gonna bring you to the ugly duckling and show you all these terrible things and make you believe this just to give you back my satchel. Where Nick's be like, okay, you had me saying this. All I want is my pen back. So it's got that same.
It's not pen.
It's her
on the pen.
It's her pen. It's his recording. His darning evidence. His confession on it. But I love that they play off each other so well, and it's so funny, mm-hmm. and it's so well done. And the fact that, like, even in that scene I mentioned earlier of the under the bridge scene of where she just breaks down and be like, hey, I don't care if you hate me. We just need to get this done. It's like, and they kind of get back together, and so let's solve this crime. Mm-hmm. And it's so good. And Nick being the con artist becomes a cop in the end. Yeah. And of course he's gonna wear shades because he's a cool fox now.
Right.
All right. So yeah, they're partners, and yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy their camaraderie and their fellowship as cops now, mm-hmm. and it's a buddy cop story.
Yes.
But yes, that's my number one. My long drawn out explanation of my first one. So what is your number one, Drew?
My number one is how well thought out this is.
Agreed.
In many ways, I kind of feel like I need to compare it to another Disney anthropomorphic movie, and that is Robin Hood. Robin Hood did not think any of this stuff out as much.
No,
they didn't have to think any of this out as much.
No.
It is just human buildings that animals are walking around in. That is all the thought process that went into that.
They thought of everything.
They explained how just the train itself, because the train tells you a lot about everything. You've got the compartment for the big animals to go in,
right?
Another compartment for the smaller animals, and then the smallest compartment for the rodents.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you've got little rodentia later on.
Oh yeah, that was perfect.
Which, as someone who's been getting back into tokusatsu lately, I just love the idea of these giants running around a little village.
I thought of that actually when I was watching it. It's like, oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yes, but
Rabbidzilla.
Pretty much. I enjoy that. I enjoy how they show them moving between the four primary environments that you find these animals in, from the desert to the or to the tundra to the rainforest to city center. You get right down to it. I enjoy that. I was a little concerned, though. This is just a nitpick, and it's not enough of a nitpick to make it. I have to take umbrage with the idea that this train goes through all the way around all four of these boroughs before it gets to the center of town.
Gotcha.
Because that's like, no civic engineer in their right mind is going to build a train that gives you a tour of the town before it stops. It just doesn't work that way.
No, but
I don't care how well thought out this town was when they first built it. They don't do that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But like I said, that's just a minor nitpick.
Yeah.
The way the world building is set up in this, when they show characters, it makes sense. It's just so well done. If I have any problem, well, no, I don't even have a problem there. So yeah, I just love how well set up the world is.
Okay.
So, what's your number 2 like?
All right. So my number 2 would be the fact that
it's Judy.
Judy, thank you. For some reason, I was like, it's something else.
It's Judy.
Yeah, Judy Hopps. So Judy Hopps grows up with this idea that Zootopia is it's a utopia. That it's kumbaya, everybody gets along.
She doesn't realize it's New York City.
Yeah, doesn't realize this is New York City. Be like, people get along, but you don't get along the way you think they do. Mm-hmm. And Nick is her clue into this, and be like, kind of brings everything into perspective for her.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Ulysses would have clued her in to the fact that that's not a utopia.
Right. Yeah, the fact to be like, Judy wants to be a cop. She wants to be a cop. He can be anything you want. Well, in the grounding of this movie is the fact to be like, you can't be everything you want to be.
Right.
Be like, there are certain limitations you can't be. And the fact to be like, it's given this idea that if we come to this utopia, everything's going to be perfectly dandy. Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's not. Be like, nothing ever is going to be perfect. And, the simple idea is almost preposterous.
Yes.
To me, knowing humanity and knowing humanity's fallen state and the depravity of man. Be like, yeah, that's never going to happen. I know people that be like, all we got to do is do this and this and this. Like, no, it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. It won't. If you understand humanity, it won't. Yeah. But with this movie in particular, it shows that, be like, hey, as long as we can get along, and it's like, yeah, we're going to have our differences. It's not be like, you have to believe everything I say, otherwise you're this or this or this or this. But rather, it's more like, we can agree to disagree. But at the same time, we can get along. We can get along, we can have our different opinions, our different viewpoints, and still live in quasi-harmony with each other. Mm-hmm. That's what I like about this film. Like, the fact to be like, you can have the idea that how racism is rampant. It's rampant in our culture, it's rampant in our society, it's rampant in our world. And the fact to be like, this movie hits it head on. Mm-hmm. And with racism and biased and like everything you can think of, be like, this, not everything, but the movie touches on so many of these little elements we're dealing with right now in our own culture. Mm-hmm. And I remember one person saying at one point, well, racism doesn't exist anymore.
Bull.
Yeah. Have you read a headline lately? Mm-hmm. Racism still exists. And I know a former classmate of mine that he had be like a friend of someone I know from church. I want to say we're acquaintances. We know each other. And she had posted, be like, well, I found this in my neighborhood, and it was a KKK, what do you call it? A pamphlet. And it was just throwing everything left and right of doing scripture from the Bible that says this and this and this about racism, be like how the races should be separated, and, you know, this and this, and be like, wait a minute, that totally doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. It'd be like it's from a false, stupid ideology. Mm-hmm. And my friend Terry popped in and said, it's like, yeah, I've had to deal with my entire life. And Terry's African American. It's like, okay, I totally understand that. I mean, I don't understand it from my perspective, but the fact that I grew up with this idea that be like, you don't see color, and be like, throughout a school, be like, yeah, I know, you know, Terry's African American, but I don't see anything else. I'd just be like, hey, he's a human being created in the image of God. Yeah. And that you're supposed to love them, even though, like, some people are going to hate you no matter what. It'd be like the fact that you love your enemy. Mm-hmm. And I think it's one thing that we should, you know, as society learn, that it's like, you know, don't hate someone just because, you know, they're a different skin tone or a different, you know, different religion or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, they're different than you. Move on. And just learn to love them. Be like, yeah, show your, you know, show them what you believe, and not in this, you know, complete, be like everything you, or something along those lines, but just to, you know, get along and not hate, because, you know, hatred doesn't get anywhere. Right. It never does. And that's what I like about this movie. It'd be like the fact that it tackles racism, it tackles bigotry, it tackles all this stuff, and it nightly bows it up in a nice bun that by the end of the movie, it's okay. It's like, yeah, Utopia, nah, it's not there. It's not going to happen. But we, at the same time, it's we can just learn to coexist. Like, yeah, we have our differences. We can't be everything we want to be. And that's what I like about this film. It has that very solid, grounded punch of a story that really resonates with our culture and our world today, which the world definitely needs to hear again. So, yeah, I like my number two. What is your number two?
My number two is how well the... So, you've got 14 predators that have gone missing. We're only looking for the otter at first, because Otter's wife is the only one that's coming in begging, I think. Right. And not getting any help. And I think part of that is because, admittedly, I don't think of an otter as a predator. I'm sure it is.
It is.
But I don't think of it because most of the time when I've seen pictures of otters, they're cute and cuddly and things of that nature. I just don't think of them as predators. So I think that might be part of why at first no one is going and looking for it. But at the same time, they're all... I love how throughout the movie we introduce characters. These characters all, and I do mean all the characters play a bigger role than just being an extra. The only one that really doesn't do this is Gazelle. Yeah. Because she's just the pop star who has to give the heart. Bring back the Zootopia I love. I'm not a pop. I don't really care what celebrities think, and that's just a celebrity playing a celebrity. Right. But starting off with Bunnyzilla, as you put it.
Bunnyzilla. Okay.
That scene, she just barely saves this little mouse from getting squashed.
I don't think she's a mouse.
Rodent.
Yeah.
I'll say rodent. I don't know what she is, but rodent.
Okay, she's a rodent.
She's a rodent. Probably a guinea pig. I don't know. Maybe a rat.
It's a rat, kind of.
It makes sense because, considering who her father is.
Yeah, true.
But the fact that character could have been left out. We'd had that one moment where Judy saves her and nothing else happens. If she hadn't saved her, the bride would not have been able to get her mafia godfather father to stop from icing her, as they put it. They call it. So she's able to come back and actually plays a bigger role in the story than just being somebody that Judy happened to save.
Yeah, it's all interconnected.
Right. The fact that every character throughout the entire mystery plays a much bigger part than just the couple minutes they were on screen.
Right.
I do appreciate all the way up to the fact that I did not see the first time. I knew who it was. I knew going into the second time who was the culprit.
Right.
But the first time I did not see coming that Bellwether was the one behind all this.
Oh, yeah. I was the exact same way.
I was fully expecting Lionheart to have been the one behind everything and was somehow working things behind the scenes to keep the animals going savage while he was in jail. Something like that.
Okay.
You hear things like that, at least in these kinds of shows.
Right.
These kinds of stories. That's what I was fully expecting, but like, oh, the lamb is the villain. Okay. I'm following. Okay, 90% of the population is technically considered prey animals. Mm-hmm. So they should be able to, wow. Mm-hmm. Go back to your point. It's like, man, you people are racist.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But I think to some degree I caught on that the blueberries and the night howler bullet were the same, looked the same before they actually showed that. So
yeah, that was clever. That was so clever.
But I will say, I knew what was happening the minute they shot Nick. It's like, oh yeah, that was a blueberry. That had to be a blueberry because it left juice. None of the, admittedly, we don't really get to see what happens to that thing after it hit everybody else.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of the shots we ever saw juice.
No. But it was like the performance of the character, like Wild's his performance, the way they animate him, it's like, oh my gosh, he really went savage. Well, and it's like,
that's his character.
Yeah, it's his character.
He is able to pull that off, and the fact that
he's a fox,
and the fact that his line from the beginning is like, it's called a hustle, sweetheart.
Yeah,
is 9/10 of everything going on in this movie.
That is true.
Everyone's hustling everybody else.
That is true.
And it just so happens that Judy's hustle is the only one that saves the day.
True.
So, yeah, I appreciate how interconnected the movie is, because so many other times you watch a mystery police drama type movie, and they'll introduce a character and you'll never see that character. Okay. They're just there long enough to give their little part of the testimony, and then it moves on.
Right.
No, every single character, including the sloths.
Yes.
have a bigger part to play. Now,
Flash.
admittedly, Flash doesn't show up again until the end of the movie.
Yes.
But that is a good joke, too.
That is a very good joke.
Anyway, so yeah, that's my number 2. What is your number 3?
Okay, so I want to bring up something in the chat that our friend Chase had mentioned, that they are shrews.
They're rodents.
Yeah.
Although, now that you say that that's a shrew, I wonder if there's a prequel in which her husband had to tame... You got to bring the Shakespeare in when it happens.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Thank you, Chase. All right, so my number 3, the Night Howler story.
Okay.
This whole why are these predators going savage, and the dissection of how they discover it's the Night Howlers and what the Night Howlers are, and it takes Judy leaving the force, going back to where's she from?
Bunnyborough.
Go to the Bunnyborough, and gets that connection, has to go back, basically make up with Nick and solve the mystery. And it'd just be like how they weave this throughout the story. It's so incredibly well done. Like you said with the story, it's just everything is just so interconnected, and there's just all this juicy detail, but like using background characters simply because they're doing something and it's not in the foreground, it's blurred out or what have you. But this entire, like when we run into Duke Weaselton.
More on that later.
More on him later. But
you still have a third like to bring up.
Yes. Then we're introduced them there. It's the why did he steal that? This and this and this. Be like just the interconnection of everything in this story is so incredibly well done. And the writing, kind of boiling you down to the idea of the writing in this story is so profoundly well done. and I enjoy the snot out of it. So yeah, that's my number 3. What is your number 3?
My number 3, meta humor and jokes
yes.
aimed at adults.
Yes.
Now, let me explain. Because when I say adult humor, that usually brings up negative connotations.
Right.
So we haven't said this in a while on any of this stuff. I think I want to point out, this is a movie you can let your kids watch.
Oh, yeah. It's most definitely a kid's movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a kid's movie. When I say there is adult humor, I am saying that there is humor here that was not put in the movie for the kids to catch. It was put there for the adults who came along to watch the movie with the kids,
right,
to laugh at. And the one that crosses my mind right at the top deals with where they're mixing the night howler.
Oh yes, that was
thing.
Hysterical.
First off, when I saw that scene the second time, even though I've never watched more than one episode of Breaking Bad, my thought was, this looks like it could be the animal version of Breaking Bad.
It is.
And then he gets on the radio and says, yeah, Walter and Jesse are on their way back. I go, they did not just do that.
Yeah.
At least they didn't call him Heisenbach. But you've got
so good.
You got humor like that. Then you've got the meta humor of Duke Weaselton.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
And he's selling bootleg Disney movies, including movies that aren't even out yet, like Floating 2, which was not even. Which the Frozen 2 it's referencing was not even started production.
No, it had
when
not.
This movie came out. It was almost the idea. It's like, yeah, this is coming, people. Be prepared. And not that song.
No. I do want to point out that,
and I want just to say I love all the bootlegs of the most recent Disney stuff in that.
Oh yeah,
like Pig Hero 6.
Yes.
Floating 2, like I said. Meowana.
That was great.
You have to stop and think about that one, because that means in that world you have a cat islander who is going to go sailing.
I can totally see that. That's awesome.
But cats hate water.
For the most part.
That would be an interesting movie. That's I'm saying.
That would be one. The one I want to bring up in that bootleg, the ones that had not been seen yet.
Yes.
Giraffica. Yeah. That was a tease to a movie that never came to life.
Which is so sad.
Gigantica.
Yes. Which
is, I'd be like, if you go back, and we'll probably do an episode at some point about movies that were never made, but what they were planning was a movie that followed very similar to Jack and the Beanstalk. And it looked so much fun, but then they pulled the plug on it, and nothing's been done of it.
Shame.
Yep. Either way. So, continue.
Anyway, yes. And, of course, then there's the best joke in probably the entire movie.
Yes.
Which, to do it justice, at the very beginning of the movie, or not the very beginning, but when she's in the bullpen getting her assignments, and she is fighting against, or she's raising awareness to Chief Bogo that she can be more than just a meter maid.
Yeah.
Chief Bogo responds, "Life isn't some cartoon musical where you sing a little song and all your insipid dreams magically come true. So let it go."
I love that.
That is the best line in the whole stinking movie.
Yes, it is.
Because this is not a Disney princess movie. We don't even have songs except for Shakira's nonsense. I may have opinions. In this whole movie, it just fits so perfectly, because this is like the anti-Disney fairy tale movie.
That's true.
And yet it still works beautifully.
Well, we do have a bride in the movie.
But no princess.
No princess.
Anyway, I was going to make a Princess Bride joke, but not right now. So yeah, the idea of the comedy, the meta humor for the movie, for everything surrounding it, the references to stuff no kid would ever watch until they're much, much older.
Oh yeah,
And then the bootlegs is some of the funniest stuff in this movie. It's better than a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Okay. I do want to point out when they are on the train, when Judy is on top of the train and she has to duck underneath that light.
Yes,
it's a red light. It's a speed reference.
Ah, yes, that is. I forgot.
There are so many other little movie references.
Yes,
yeah,
stuff you would
so
not
good.
Get.
And there's hidden Mickeys everywhere.
Oh well, yeah, it's a Disney movie. There's always hidden Mickeys.
Oh yeah.
So, what is your first dislike?
Okay, so I kind of like you said very early on. This movie does hit you very hard with the
racial overtones.
Racial overtones. Yes, it does. The line of cute.
Yeah,
that one got me a little.
Because now I can't call her cute without being racist against bunny rabbits.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, but you're a cute bunny rabbit. But her line of it's like yeah. Well, if another bunny calls another bunny cute, it's okay. But if someone else calls him cute, it's just like that always bugs me.
Well, see, the thing is that immediately enters my mind of what one person told me about the N-word.
Right.
I can't even talk about it as part of the issue here.
Right. African
Americans can say that word, call each other that word all day long, and it'd be fine. If I even accidentally say it, and I'm doing my best to not say it, I'm the one who's going to get in trouble, and I'm probably going to get blowback just saying this much.
Right.
To be honest, and that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I be like that's my point exactly. The fact be like yes, I understand. That particular word is like when I was growing up. Oh my gosh, you never said the word. Be like it's a terrible, horrible word, and and I understand. Be like in the African American, they've kind of claimed it as their own word, and be like I get that. I get that. I just be like, I've never in my mind, I guess I'm going to have to talk with somebody about this and just understand it better.
Yeah.
Just the understanding of be like the fact that no one else can use this word except for certain people. Mm-hmm. And I just find that wrong. Be like, words are words.
Yeah.
It'd be like if it's
either take offense to the person who's using it incorrectly, or don't say it at all.
Yeah, if
I know that sounds horrible, but that's just my thoughts.
Right. The fact to be like if the person is using it in a racial tone, be like, yes, it's racism. If someone be like, because I know so many young people, it doesn't matter what skin tone they use it, they use it. It's like okay, for someone my generation, it's like, why in the world are you using that word? But, there again, be like, it's just that's what is one of those itty bitty little things that bothered me. Mm-hmm. And now I understand. Be like, kids nowadays like use it like it's just talk to everybody about. But
what kid do you know is using these words? I'm just curious.
I know
to call anybody out.
No. No, it's just more like be like
words that we would normally not. Words that we would not normally use at all. Not as bad as the N word and how it was originally used.
Yes, exactly.
What we would call cuss words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of be like it's more along the lines of be like it's like, hey,
I understood what you were saying.
Yeah, what I was trying to say was their kids are more using it as, I'm not saying all kids are. Not saying that. But what I am saying is like they use it more as be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
In that. Be like, hey, what's going on, my friend?
Right.
Or something like that. But it's still so baffling to me. And be like, I would love to have a conversation with somebody to help me understand that. Be like, why is there this disconnect with using, be like, you can use this word, but I can't use that word. I would love to have that conversation with somebody.
No, it's not going to be me because I don't have answers for you.
Okay. But anyway, so that was, it's a nitpick, and it's always kind of bothering me. And there again, I would love to have a conversation with somebody, a very friendly conversation about that at some point with somebody. And so if anybody can help me out, let me know. So
I was not involved.
Anyway, so
I don't want to be in the middle of this conversation, which tells you how prickly it is.
Okay. That is my number one. What is your number one?
My number one, as much as I hate to say this, is the sloth jokes.
Oh gosh.
Now here, let me explain. Let me explain.
Okay.
The concept is there. The animation is spot on.
Right.
I love the animation. The problem is in how they do it with the words.
Right.
Because here's the thing. They don't do it like I would think you would do it. Like where they talk slow like this. This is not, and of course it's slower than this. I'm speeding up for your sanity. But
right.
They don't talk like I would do it, like this, where it's long and drawn out.
Mm-hmm.
This is how they talk.
It's cadence.
They're doing it with cadence. But the problem is, because I'm not going to do that the rest of this.
Right.
The words are short, which means they're being said fast, which kind of doesn't mesh well with the slowness of what they're saying.
Right.
I know to some degree they're trying to do the joke without it being annoying.
Right.
Because the very nature of this joke requires it to go over a long period of time, and they don't want to annoy people. Mm-hmm. And they still want it to be clear what's being said.
Right.
I understand that. I just wish they would have slowed their speech a little, not draw it out like where it's where if you sped it up it would sound just like I'm talking right now, but where maybe still have it separated but have the word elongate more
right
than they did to make it feel a little better. And in my mind when I saw it, the words were elongated more. And so it could be that they shortened them after maybe people think about it. I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm guessing. I just wish that had been taken care of better.
Okay.
Right down to it. So what's your number 2 dislike?
Well, I want to get to a point where, well, just the comment on your number 1. So apparently I know a lot of people who love Sloss now. Sloss blew up when this movie came out. Everybody just wanted heck, a person I know, Elizabeth, her son loves Sloss so much they're planning to go on a trip to go see Sloss in summer.
Okay.
And Chase down the comment, and the comment said, "It's all about the DMV."
I know that. I'm well aware.
Oh
of
yeah,
that.
because
I love the fact that the sloths are the ones controlling the DMV. That's funny. My problem is in the execution of the joke.
Yeah, and plus, as everybody knows, the DMV is slow as all heck.
It always is. It's government. What do you expect?
Yeah. Either way, so I wanted to comment on that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chase. So my number 2, the end credits. We get the concert at the very end.
I think I'm going to modify my list to make this my number 2 so we can comment on it together.
Okay.
Because I don't like this concert either.
Okay, in its defense, it was very well animated, like this entire movie is. But
except you could tell a lot of the audience shots in the group shots were very much looped animation.
That they are.
And they reused a lot of shots in that and just changed what credits were on.
Gotcha.
But anyway,
it's I understand they had Shakira, she's a very good singer, somewhat. She's a good singer, and she can dance pretty good. But that's a whole different animal to get into.
You just had to say that, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay.
All right. So, of course, it'd be you have Shakira in the movie. So yes, you had to have a concert. But why does it have to be at the very end of the film? Can't you just have this some point where we see a scene of it, or they go to a concert and this is part of the story?
She happened to go.
I agree with you. If I can stop yawning. Mm-hmm. Just the concert in general is just kind of, it's okay, this is you can do a thing. It was just a thing. It was a chance to have the try everything song, which I disagree with the premise. Why do you want to try everything?
They point out throughout the rest of the movie that you can't be everything.
Yeah, exactly. And you have this song at the very end. It's just try everything. It's what?
I will say this.
Makes no sense.
I will say this.
Okay.
To learn what is a lot of things.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you on that.
I think that's really the point they were
yeah,
trying to get across.
I would agree with you.
The problem is, to get into my part of this
issue,
the character is the most worthless character in the movie.
Ouch! Shots fired.
She has one scene at the concert at the end in which she actually does something that is in the story of the film.
Right.
And that's her pleading for everyone to quit acting the way they are.
Right.
And to make Judy feel bad because that's whatever.
That entire scene is, yeah.
Right. That's the only... that line could have been delivered by any animal in the city. It did not have to be delivered by a celebrity.
Yeah.
A celebrity that they had to continually prop up throughout the entire movie. I don't mean Shakira herself. I mean Gazelle, the character. She's got an app. Ooh, that Plowhauser and apparently Chief Bogo are enjoying, let's say.
Yes.
Which, don't get me wrong, those jokes are funny.
They are funny. They are very funny.
But every other character in the movie, as I said earlier, is so well interconnected. But her. But I nearly said bunny hops.
Bunny hops. Do the bunny hop.
Yeah. Judy Hopps never meets Shakira.
No.
Nick never. I say Shakira. Gazelle.
Oh, yeah.
Nick never meets Gazelle. Plowhauser never meets Gazelle. None of the characters interact with Gazelle outside of that stupid app and being at a concert at the end. And the one scene where she's talking about, bring back the Zootopia I love.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. It just feels like her character was shoehorned into the movie so that felt like they could compete with Sing, with the other anthropomorphic animal movie that came out that year. That was essentially, which don't get me wrong, that's a good movie. We're going to have to do that at some point. But it felt like at the last minute, they needed a song because you can tell the movie was designed not to have. It's not a musical. They even joke about it. Right. But it feels like they realized at the last minute, this other company is playing on our turf. We need to be able to shoot back and say, we do anthropomorphic movies with singing too, even though we're just going to have a concert. And then you had to have the character throughout the whole thing. I don't know if that's what happened. Yeah. Do not get me wrong. I have no insider information, and I'm not even good at research. But it just feels like her character is shoehorned into the movie. Okay. And the biggest part of that shoehorn is the concert at the end. Yeah. That credit sequence, don't get me wrong, I actually like the idea of a scene with credits over it as part of the end of the movie, but I kind of want it to still be a scene. Right. I don't want it to be, here's them at a concert with really no lead up to whatsoever. Yeah. It feels disconnected from the movie. If you're going to animate a scene with this many characters on screen at one time to show off, to do your credit sequence with, I want it to be better connected to the movie. Okay. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But yeah, no offense to Shakira in the slightest. Yeah. I just don't like your character.
Okay, I understand that. I do want to bounce off your number two for a slight second. Mm-hmm. The fact that you have Gazelle be like, when they go to like what people's opinions are on this, they only talk Gazelle. Yeah. Because it's the celebrity. She's the high profile character, so everybody's going to listen to her opinion. Which bugs me. Yeah, it always bothers me. Yeah. Because how our society is.
Having a celebrity interview, a character who's a celebrity, in there doing it, having someone asking her, that doesn't bug me too much. But that's the only person they talk to. I recognize you have scene flow of the scene and pacing and all this stuff to worry about, and maybe at some point in the writing that they had other characters interviewed in that, and it just had to get cut out, and they had to focus on they had to fire the shot cleanly across Judy's bow. Mm-hmm. True. And maybe that was the thought process. I don't know, because it just feels like,
and it it also reflects the idea of our modern culture. Mm-hmm. The fact that, like, whenever a celebrity does something or they say something,
somehow it's far more important than what anyone else is saying.
Exactly. It has more resonance. Be like, if this person wears these shoes, everybody else will wear these shoes because they're popular. Not that, or someone came up with this really ingenious idea, and some celebrity, says opposite or something like that, mm-hmm. because their opinion matters than anybody else's, has always bothered me. Mm-hmm. And they're going to use the word again, bothers me, to where, and I'm reusing words. I know this.
Bother.
Oh, bother. Yeah, I'm Eoring.
Or like Winnie the Pooh. I don't think I ever heard Eeyore say bother. But Winnie the Pooh says bother all the...
What? Oh, bother.
Yeah, that's Winnie the Pooh. That's
Eeyore.
No, it's not.
Okay, then.
We're going to have to now watch Winnie the Pooh to settle this.
Apparently.
But not tonight, and not in the foreseeable future. But
at some point we will. Okay. This just the fact to be like how celebrity-driven our culture is. Mm-hmm. Definitely American culture. Is that everybody just hangs in bated breath of what Beyonce Knowles says or something like that, or like some big high class celebrity. In the same coin, you can be like, if you have someone who was a big famous actor back in the 1980s and is now doesn't do anything, be like they say something, it's more like, meh. It's like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, exactly.
You're not popular.
Yeah, you're not popular.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
Unless you're maybe, but even then.
Yeah. It'd be like it all depends on your status at that second. Because I look at the example of Paul Walker. Paul Walker, the actor from Fast and Furious. Mm-hmm. When he died, be like the whole world had Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant when he passed away in that more recent news. Kobe Bryant's passing in that chopper crash.
When Steve Jobs died, Michael Jackson died.
Yeah.
Any celebrity except for perhaps.
Yeah, exactly.
When they died, the whole world went nuts.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, I
do not know these people.
Yeah.
You know they project.
Yeah.
Those aren't true.
I mean, like, I understand.
And I guarantee you, Gazelle is not the same Gazelle at home that she was on every single scene she was in this movie. If we want to talk about characters. Yeah.
It's just the idea that how our culture be like when a celebrity dies, who's a popular celebrity at the time, dies, be like people just go into mourning and like, I can't do anything because my favorite celebrity died. But when you have one of these older celebrities die, like Jerry Stiller died, be like, he was just be like his death and be like, okay, we acknowledge his death.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's just, it bothers me. The fact to be like, you can have someone who is done so much good for a community or a state or the country whatsoever, and they suddenly pass away. It's more like, okay, they died. They did this.
Sure.
Okay.
But we on.
Okay.
So like.
Okay. I really don't have one, really.
That's why you were going on.
Exactly.
You were padding the fact that you don't have a third dislike.
I was padding my time here.
Okay.
I was patting the sheep's head. It's so fluffy.
He got away with that. Anyway.
He's a fox.
So in that case, I will go into my third dislike.
Okay, fire away.
I guess I don't have a third dislike either. Honestly, it has left my mind.
Yeah.
So we'll just come back and say I don't have a third dislike either. So
okay.
Why don't we go ahead and move into our rating for this movie?
Okay.
You go first, my friend.
I'm going to give it an 8. Solid 8. It's a wonderful film. It's got a powerful message. It's got amazing characters, incredibly well animated. The backgrounds in this movie are fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like some of your background paintings from back in the day. It's like literally, can I just print that background, put it on a canvas, put it on my wall, and be like, that is freaking amazing. The work they put in this film, the detail, like you described earlier, just like how they planned everything out. Like the example you used earlier, Robin Hood. It's like, oh, it's just Robin Hood. They're anthropomorphic animals
walking around in human buildings.
Yeah, exactly. And be like, I had a friend who actually listens to the show, who loves Robin Hood. Don't get me wrong, Robin Hood's amazing.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah, they just didn't feel. They didn't just be like, like you said earlier. But they thought of everything in this movie. Everything. Be like, I might be missing something, but they left no pebble or no shrew unturned. But it's such an incredibly well done film, and people need to go watch this film for it's cinematic gold in some ways, in a lot of ways. It's cinematic gold, and 2, it has this very powerful message which everybody needs to hear. And that's why I'm giving it an 8. What about you?
I'm giving it a 7.
Okay.
I'm docking it that 1 extra point from what you're giving it. A, to be honorary.
Okay, then.
But also...
bring it on.
Honestly, while this is very well made and a good movie, and it's got a lot of great jokes...
Right.
This is not one that is jumping into my...
Okay.
It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I enjoyed it. I don't regret watching it. But the movie doesn't speak to me as it obviously speaks to you. But it's still a good movie. It's still done very well. I'm afraid many of its jokes are not going to age well as time goes by, but we can't judge that till after time has passed. So, yeah, I'm giving it a 7 just because it's done well. I'm just afraid it's not going to. So, yeah.
Okay.
So that brings us to the end of another episode.
Yes.
Which means we have to roll for our next movie. Now, I believe this Friday, we have decided that we are going to watch Scoob when it comes out.
Hooray!
And immediately after, although you probably won't get that episode till Saturday, maybe Sunday. I haven't decided which. We will release a reaction episode to the movie. I don't think, though, we're going to do this one live.
Okay.
Just because, I don't know, I just don't want to do this one live.
Yeah.
Plus, we're going to be doing some more reaction. We're going to be doing probably another live thing later this weekend as we continue to work through Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That is true.
Over on our Twitch channel. So, yeah. So keep an eye out for that. For those of you who remember, Aladdin had to grow last week because it had been on here 7 times. Or 6 times. And you ended up rolling... Did you roll Zootopia or did I roll Zootopia?
You rolled Zootopia.
I rolled it. Rolled it, not rolled it. So...
rolling.
The Muppet... also having reached more than 6 last week was the Muppet movie. It's had 7 episodes. So it is now also going to grow into Zootopia's place. We have the Muppet movie on sides 1 and 3, Aladdin on sides 2 and 4. On side 5, we have Dragon Ball Z: The Dead Zone, and on side 6, we have Monsters vs. Aliens. So Jacob, Zootopia was your movie, so I get to roll this time. And next week, we will be recording the Muppet movie.
All right.
So keep an eye out for that.
Okay, so before we wrap for tonight, that's all, folks. Not really. I want to
say that legally.
Nah, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I want to give a few shout outs in the commentary section. One to a friend of ours, Drew Chase.
I don't think he'll appreciate that.
No, I always get you two confused all the time.
How?
I don't know.
I'm fat. He's skinny. I have hair. He's bald.
Okay, so
we're not a lot of. We have some similarities.
I know this, but for some reason, I get you two mixed up in my head. Yeah. Either way. Yeah, exactly, Chase. How? All right, so speaking of Chase Murphy says the world building is quite good.
In reference to what I was saying during my likes.
All right, so Armando says, go Jacob. You get an A+ from me. Okay, thanks, Cobra Commander. That's where it was. Okay, so Chase continues. Message. Blue howlers are bad.
Duh. Listen, kids, don't do drugs. And don't let drugs get shot at you from a distance in a moving car with the window down.
All right. So Chase continues. I have to agree about the jokes. A lot of nostalgia would be completely lost in just a few years, and continue that with how. And so, going back to another chat, which is actually on our it
is our videos pod.
Is our videos.
Channel.
So a good friend of ours, Al Lampert, he says, "What's up, fellas? What's up?
We're good, Al. How are you doing?
How are you doing, our Cajun friend?" Either way, so yeah,
I miss your jambalaya.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Anyway.
So yes. So
gumbo. I don't remember. It doesn't carry. It's good food.
Yeah, it's very good food. Cajun, so good.
Anyway.
Either way, so yeah, thank you very much for our participation in this week's episode.
Come, Jacob. We must prepare for next week.
Prepare for what, Drew?
The same thing we do every week, Jacob. Record a podcast!
Oh, boy!
So where can they find you, Jacob?
They can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron and Jacob's Daily Art Corner, my personal art Facebook page. On Twitter at Jacob B. Heron. On Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. And on Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. Where can they find you, Drew?
You can find me on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. You can also find my Facebook page at Drew's Photo Bin, where I upload my photography. You can also follow me on Letterboxd at GGeorge759 and Twitter at GGeorge759. Where can they find us, Jacob?
You can also visit our website, thecellcast.podbean.com, where you will find every episode we released and links to listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. Our RSS feed, if we aren't in your favorite podcast app directory, please share, review, and subscribe to us there and share us with your friends.
You will also find a link to our Facebook group, the Double Feature Podcast Community, where we talk about both animated and live-action movies. We share this with our other podcasts, which we do with Jacob's brother Jim, at the Movie of the Week podcast, where we talk about live-action movies. You can also email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Also, please like our page on Facebook. We try to post about upcoming movies. If you comment on that movie's post before we record, we'll read your comments in the episode. And remember, every time we say The Cellcast, that is with a single L.